Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of In Focus. My name is Matt Rice. With me is Chad Van Brunt, product manager for Binoculars. And we have a very special guest in the studio with us, Kansas native, a mother, a wife, a competition shooter, a violinist, a CrossFit extraordinaire.
I've never done CrossFit in my life.
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga.
Corinne Mosher. Corinne, welcome.
Thank you.
Very awesome to have you here.
Yeah, it's fun to finally be here. I see you guys doing these Facebook Lives, and I'm like, I'm literally 3 miles away from them.
And they don't ever invite me.
Why have I not been invited?
The question is, did you see the Halloween episode?
I did. We had some costumes going on. That was kind of fun.
We were going to ask you if you wanted to dress up, but we decided maybe.
And now
maybe
I would have
not.
dressed up as my IDF.
Oh yeah. Tell us. People might not know what the IDF is.
Oh my gosh.
What was it? What are you referencing there?
So the reference is at the begining of October. I went to. Am I supposed to talk to camera? I'll talk to
You can talk to me. You can talk to Chad. Chad's just
beginning
throwing
of
around
October,
trying to catch up.
There is an AK match in Utah, and it's called the Red October Kalashnikov Championships, and this is the third year, and it's so much fun. They go all out. They dig trenches. It's themed. You know, the AK subculture is.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Chad. Last time we give him operating controls.
I'm telling the story.
Hey, we're making progress here.
Anyways, AK matches are lots of fun, and this year, since I wasn't wearing a jersey, I actually got to dress up. So I love Halloween. It's my favorite. It is my favorite holiday of the year. So I finally got to dress up, and I, from head to toe, was an IDF Border Patrol agent. And it was legit.
Some of the photos. That's why I'm laughing. It was legit.
It was totally legit. I had more fun with the costume than I did shooting the match. And now I find out I could have been in here having fun as well with that. But
what was the best costume at that match? Was it you?
Mine.
Was it yours? Definitely.
No, but there were some fun ones. I'll have to show it. There was a tactical gnome, like a tactical garden gnome.
Like a tactical
garden gnome. He was probably my favorite other than mine. People dress as Russian sailors, and people go all out. It's not always
Are you aware of
politically correct, but it is fun.
Sometimes things are best when they're not politically correct.
Not PC.
We are politically correct on this show. If there's a hot mic, and we try not to be. But anyway, are you guys aware of any other matches where people dress up in costume to shoot? Chad, Corinne, you guys shoot a lot of matches. Do you know of any other ones where people do it? Like, I've seen people wear, Captain America shirts or different things, but I've never seen a full-on costume.
I think especially on Halloween, there's a lot of local matches that you'll find throughout the country, and you'll see footage on Instagram and Facebook of people that are rocking costumes and stuff. But as far as, from my standpoint, from watching these matches go off all over the country, Red October is probably the one I enjoy the most from a costume standpoint, and people always running into something. People try to go through a tunnel and they'll hit their head.
Because the costume is blocking field of view, just have a deal?
And also the designs are pretty strenuous. Like what you have to do, that's the worst I've hurt myself at a match was at that match 2 years ago.
What'd you do?
I tore open my knee. That was when I learned that you should bring knee pads to every match and use them. No, I was diving into the bed of an old-fashioned truck with wooden planks, and these metal bolts were sticking up, and I didn't think. I'm just going to do this cool ninja knee slide into a port and be right there. And it totally works, but on the way, I caught my knee, and it was a big deal.
Ouch.
I got a tetanus shot. I got a tetanus shot after that.
Shooting a match, or were you?
No, I didn't know how bad it was until I was done shooting. That's the way that it goes. But that match people dress up for. There's lots of people banging their heads on. Becky Yackley bent a bar with her head right here last year, and I was so scared that she was going to go down. And then a guy hit the same spot this year, and he did go down. He passed out right there. You're crawling through a tunnel, and there's metal bars, and people just lift it up and hitting that same bar over and over. So they finally put like a pool noodle over it. But
Finally,
it's that range. They do hard as hell at that range too, and people go down.
You're going all out when you knock yourself out in a shooting match.
Yeah,
because he's not. No. So if you're just joining us, we're here on another episode with In Focus. We got Corinne Mosher. We're talking about Halloween. We're talking about Red October. We're talking about dressing up in costume and shooting matches. Have you guys ever dressed up in a costume and shoot a match? If you have, why don't you hit down there in the comment section and tell us what you have. You love Halloween. Did you dress up this year? The kids dressed up. What you got to do as a family
Tyler
costume?
Dressed up. No, we didn't. No, Tyler this year was a Green Army soldier toy,
oh, very
little
nice.
toys, and that was a lot of fun. No, I had my fun at the AK match. That was my time this month or last month to dress up and do all that. Mike, I don't think Mike dressed up as anything.
A police officer.
He's always a sexy police officer every night. So,
if you don't know, Corinne's husband is a police officer here in the Overland Park area. Great guy. He likes it. He really likes it when you get his truck dirty. And at this last match, I don't know whose truck it is, the Mosher family truck. Yeah. But I noticed, he gave you some comments about keeping it clean. And what did he think when he brought it back from this last match? Us three were shooting at the UML Nationals down in Texas.
Well, I had taken a picture and I did an Instagram story of I had gotten some mud splashed on it, and I had said, "Oh, doesn't she look beautiful?" or something like that. He called me and said, that mud is really, it looks good, but it's really tough on the truck. And I was like, okay, I'll take care of it. I have a long history of enjoying the off-road portions of shooting, matches and going to these ranges where even if you have four-wheel drive, you still have to be careful. Or you're going to get a truck. We had a truck get stuck, a four-wheel truck get stuck as we were walking stages on the first day at this match. So, we have a membership at a car wash, and they have turned me away before for having my truck too dirty. Sorry, we're not going to wash your truck. Why? It's too dirty.
We won't mention that company on air, but, they were literally denied
said
your
we
service
will not wash the truck.
So what do you do then? Do you just go hit it with a water hose to get enough mud knocked off and then take it back to them, or do you have to go elsewhere?
Yeah. No,
what do you do?
I had to wash it myself, which I usually, after they do it, then I go back home and I detail everything.
You're one of those people. It's not good enough until it's current standards.
Well, that plus it's not just the truck. That's pretty much everything.
Are you that way about your kids' rooms? If they clean the room,
actually,
you come back in and
no, because I do have limits.
Your daughter's in the room, and she's kind of nodding over here.
You don't even know.
We've got somebody to keep you honest on this.
But here's the beauty of her room. I can close the door, and if I'm just like, that's it. But you know what? I grew up in a military home. I lived on military bases. We had field days on Saturdays. You didn't do anything unless everything was perfectly clean. We were minimalists because everything that you owned, you had to pack up and be ready within maybe 12 to 24 hours, packed and moved. So we didn't have extra stuff. So I don't even have things hanging on my walls, and I've lived in my apartment for 10 years.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because you made a post not too long ago because you're getting your gun room together, and you made a comment about maybe like it's about time, or I can't believe I haven't done this before. It's like you're finally getting things in order where they should be. And I imagine as somebody who shoots a lot of matches, not having your stuff in order, I know when I have a little bit of stuff and when it's out of order, I've driven home from work to go find something because it was bothering me so much and my OCD was kicking in. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. But you're on another level of gear and preparation and what you need.
No, everything has to have a place. Everything doesn't always have to be in its place. So what I don't know what post that was, but basically I've been able to, over the years, accumulate a lot of gear, a lot of toys, a lot of stuff, and I think I might have made that post when I started making a list.
And I made my gun safe put in or something, maybe? Finally got a gun safe.
So I got this awesome safe from Stanley Vidmer, and it is a gun cabinet. It's a storage cabinet, so with drawers, and they outfit the military with their weapon storage cabinets. And this is the same kind, except for I customized it, and I want 2 drawers, and I want them this depth, and I can fit an ungodly amount of guns in there, or a godly amount, whichever way you think about it.
Do you know how many guns you own?
I do know on paper.
You do know on paper?
I do, of course. Of course, we have everything written down. We have all the magazines written down on paper. We know everything.
Chad, do you have all the magazines written down on paper? Do you know everything? No,
I'm pretty particular, but I don't have all the magazines written down.
Somebody once told me if you knew how many guns you had, you don't have enough.
Don't have enough. That's probably.
I don't know if that's accurate. I know how many I have, but it's still not enough.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's never enough. And then never sell guns either. Don't sell guns.
So let's talk a little bit about the UML Nationals. Okay. This was a Bushnell sponsored match down in Texas. I kept pronouncing the name wrong all week. Navasota?
I don't know.
And it was.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Navasota.
We're being very
with authority.
With authority. And this was a Pete Rinsing inspired creation. Tell us a little bit about the UML. People who may not familiar with that, they might have heard of 3-gun. Chad, you remember. Corinne, you remember. Tell us a little bit about the UML as an organization and what it does. So how, if you don't have to go with the whole history spiel, but just a high-level UML?
Not being an official representative of UML and having gotten my membership so that I could go to this match, I've been to 2 other, I believe, UML matches. Brian Corey does UML in Oklahoma, and I've been to UML at the Mound. And it's another series with their own rules, their own divisions. They've added 2x4. They've got PCC. They have their own target. So for me, I'm new to it still. So when I got to the match, I know Pete. I've shot his awesome matches in Nevada before, but I didn't know everything there was to know about UML. One of the things I do know is that they penalize you for not engaging long-range targets. And
I don't know why she's hitting me. I engaged everything. I had my own problems.
No,
I had the spinner problem was my problem.
I needed some support there while I got that out of my mouth. One of the things that Brian was telling me was when I was shooting UML at the Mound is in the past, let's say I'm shooting 3-gun nation, and I've got, targets at 350, 435, 510, and I'm like, okay, here's my strategy. I'm going to budget like 3 to 5 rounds per, and I'm moving on if I'm not getting them.
Right.
And because I'm not going to sit there and go to war with targets because then, the time's ticking and stuff like that. Well, UML penalizes you for penalizes you for not going to war. So here I am. Just learn not to go to war and take it personally, and show up, and everything changes on me. They've got what are some other differences between UML and 3-Gun Nation or whatever?
So UML as an organization, it's United Multigun League, part of the United Sport Shooting Leagues.
Yeah.
So they have pistol and all steel matches as well. But as an organization, their goal is to be much more inclusive to match directors around the country. So from a shooting standpoint, you can still have kind of your local flavor of your local match. And so their rule set benefits people that run matches in a big way because it allows you to have different target presentations that maybe your local club really likes. And it really benefits us as shooters because we finally have a unified rule set. So we don't have to adjust our gear, read, if you go to 10 major matches a year, historically as a 3-gunner, you read 10 separate rule books and all of them were the same. And, I have a shotgun tube in my basement that's just for certain matches.
Yeah.
And then I have my normal setup, and you always have to read because maybe you can't have these magazines at this match.
Or you can't have base pads for the magazines.
Exactly. It's very, very challenging to keep up with it as a shooter, and I wouldn't say it takes the fun out of the sport because it's still really fun, but it definitely adds a level of administrative complication to a sport that you should show up and shoot.
Yeah, 'cause we sat down with Pete at SHOT Show last year, and Chad and I were meeting with him. We were looking from Bushnell perspective to get more involved in the action shooting sports. We're heavily involved in PRS, but we make a lot of great products. I hope that a few of them that you'll get you to dive into your preferencing on them. But, when he was talking to us, what I was getting from him, to Chad's point, was more of a unified set of rule book, things that could be done on a local match, and that they could provide kind of the outline, if you will, and some of the equipment are necessary. So if you're at a local match and you want to participate in UML matches, it's almost kind of like a match in a box. Just be able to present everything you need. So if your stage doesn't have, or your range doesn't have some of these, that you can kind of bend and use what the range has, targets, arrays, stages, bays versus long distance. I mean, we are literally shooting in a gentleman's field from what it looked like for me at the UML Nationals. I mean, when we did our walkthrough on Friday, there were cows just hanging out. Yeah, we're driving around cows going to these different stages, and you could obviously tell that they'd hold a bunch of PRS matches there because there were platforms, there were elevated shooting positions, long-range targets way out there. So you could tell they'd used it for a lot of different purposes. So I had a lot of fun. That was my first UML, my first time shooting a Pete-inspired course, and from what I can tell, that guy goes all out. I mean, we had a very diverse squad, I felt. You had me at the very bottom. We had you guys near the top, and I saw everybody struggle with different things. So it wasn't like I felt like I was going to shoot a stage where I was the weak link. There were things that you might have struggled with, or whether it was a long range or what it was. So to me, it kind of evened it out, but you could obviously tell who's proficient in 3-gun and who's not.
We had the winner. We had the winner in our squad.
We did.
Dan Jurassic won.
Yeah, man, he was on fire.
Yeah, he was. It's really cool. And I really enjoyed the match. The first day we shot, it just so happened to work out this way that the first day we shot all of the natural terrain stuff,
right.
and the second day we shot all the bay stuff. And didn't it feel like two different matches, but two very fun, enjoyable matches?
That and the ankle deep water and all the bay matches.
Yes.
So if you maybe saw some of you're following Corinne or following the Bushnell Instagram pages, we had some water on a few stages the second day might be a little bit of an understatement. Tell everybody about what your thoughts were when you show up second day, bright and early in the morning, and you rolled into bays. I think we shot 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, or 7, 8, 9, and 10, the last four. And you saw, what did you think? What was your first thought?
I heard the rain in the morning and overnight, and I was like, oh, no big deal. I've shot in the rain, I've shot in the mud, I've shot whatever. Okay, I've shot through 2 hurricanes, okay? So, we get there, and I pull up, and everybody's sitting around. I'm looking at you guys like, what's up? And then I turn around and look at the bays, and they're underwater. It's not there's water. They're underwater.
Underwater.
You couldn't see the fault lines.
You couldn't see the raised fault lines that were staked down. And my first thought was, I want to shoot. Oh no, what do we have? Because, I've been to matches where they had to cancel certain stages or cancel the match because couldn't complete the match because of environmental considerations and because you couldn't, it just could not be done. So my first thought was disappointment, no, we're not going to be able to shoot. Then when I was like, no, we are going to be able to shoot, I'm like, cool, I brought my mud boots. This is what 3-gun is about. It's not about nice, clean, swept range floors where everything is, it's not. 3-gun is down and dirty sometimes. It's great. No, I loved it. I love that extra little bit, and that is why the gear that I bring is so important, because I don't know what kind of conditions I'm going to need to shoot in. It's going to be raining, it's going to be storming, there's going to be mud everywhere, there's going to be dust, being pelted with dust or sand.
Right.
All of this stuff makes a better shooter, makes a shooter who knows how to run their equipment in adverse conditions. So I'm like, bring it. Let's swim. Who has a snorkel?
I don't know if I was in the bring it mentality. I was kind of like you. I was like, oh man, they're going to cancel the match, or they're going to have to move these bays, and we're going to be another 2 to 3 hours setting up. And then Pete drove by, and he said, one of the range officers said to him, was like, Pete, what are we going to do? And he was like, we're going to shoot.
We're going to shoot the match.
He was like, what do you want to tell people to do? To rebook their flights and go home, and we're going to shoot the match. And everybody sucked up, and if you had boots or were lucky, you didn't. Range officers were wearing flip-flops or no shoes at all and out there scoring cards. And, we just made the best time out it was. It reminded me of being a kid and getting to go play in the rain and the mud puddles. But this time I was getting to shoot. So.
Did you want to take your shoes off?
I did. I almost did. I told Chad I was going to, and then I went, maybe not. I was going to just go barefoot and just run through it.
The only reason I didn't is because I knew I was going to step on, the brass
boards
and stuff. Or boards.
Yeah.
Something was going to cut my feet up, and I'm like,
that's a good point.
Otherwise it would have been a great idea, I think.
So if you're just joining in, we're here on In Focus talking with Corinne Mosher, talking 3-gun. If you've got a question, if you've never shot 3-gun before, if you have a question about the UML Nationals, any of the matches that Corinne shoots from Red October to 3-gun, what else did you shoot this year? Because we're kind of getting a little bit towards the end of the season, or that might have been
I shot
your last
AKs.
match.
This was probably my last major match of the year.
Okay.
Yeah. I shot AKs. I shot PCC. The 3-gun is my bread and butter. I'm trying to remember if I shot a USPSA match or not. Just pistol. I don't think I did just pistol, but I did just PCC. And then I do a bunch of other stuff as well. I do a bunch of training, traveling for training, taking training, and training other people.
Yeah.
I've been more involved on the, and I hate this word, but activism side of, I don't know why I hate it. I have been more political, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was involved not only with the DC project, which I've done the last few years, where we take 50 women, one from every state, and we go to Washington, D.C. on our own dime and our own time, and we set up meetings with our representatives and their staffers, and we just sit down and have a conversation. We're not there asking for anything. We are just 50 women that are somehow in the shooting industry, in the firearms industry, pro-Second Amendment, and living a Second Amendment lifestyle, and we're just there to say, hi, this is who I am, this is my name, this is my story, I just want to meet you and be a resource for you and understand that I have a network of women and gun owners all over the country. So when you get this piece of legislation across your desk and you're like, what,
who's affected by it?
Who's affected by it? What does it really mean? Call me. And our goal this year was to invite people to the range. So we had 2 range days, and we were able to bring some members of the offices to the range for the first time. We had media there. We had, an anti-gun people there, and we were just like, thank you for coming, like pulling people to the range to give them a positive experience, a real life experience of this is the use of firearms in our lives, and we're not scary, we're not hateful, we're not mean. This is a positive thing, and this is how we enjoy it, and you can too.
Well, I commend you for doing that, and I think this might not have been directly because of it, but if you haven't seen the November issue of Time magazine, I mean, this whole thing, front, back, inside cover, I mean, that is dedicated to Guns in America, this issue, and I have to admit, this is awesome. I mean, I wish they would have put me on here, but I understand why. I think I would have been like somewhere buried between page 80 and 93.
They would have had you be the guy that was facing the opposite direction.
I would have been right next to Biden doing this little thing, like shoot a shotgun in the air 2 times.
My gosh.
Tell me about this experience, because while I was giving you a hard time because you're not on the cover, you are.
I am on the cover. Wait, ready?
Okay, you are. Yes, correction.
I'm on the cover.
You are on the cover of Time magazine. How cool is that? And you're holding an AR. I mean, what are you holding
I'm standing next to Amy Dillon, and she's holding an AR. I'm holding my Terran Tactical Benelli M2. The nice Carlson's choke tube stickers right there on the cover of Time magazine. That's pretty cool. And there's Diana Muller, captain of Team Benelli. We've got Kevin Dixie right here. We've got Kevin Jameson right there. If you look through here, there's so many. I don't know how to say his last name. Taj, whatever it is. So anyways, this was...
How did this come together? Is this photoshopped? Were you guys put together? I mean, tell us about how they put this together, because I think I saw Gabby Franco was on talking about a little bit about it, but can you enlighten how did this come together?
Okay, so this is a mural, that the artist JR created, and he's done similar murals in the past, but for this project, I showed up in St. Louis on the day where they were shooting pictures and videos and interviews in St. Louis. And I showed up there, and you have this, the whole room is a green screen, the whole room. And what he was doing was taking a picture of us in just an A pose, which is, of course, this picture, one at a time. And, of course, one at a time. And then he takes us in and inserts us in there in the position. So we didn't know
where you would be, or who might be standing by you, if it was the president or a vice president?
Yeah, I'll back up a little bit, because I was at Rock Castle for the Pro-Am, and on one of the nights after we were done shooting, everybody goes to the lodge and is talking and partying and having a good time, and Diana Muller is eating dinner, and I sit down there with her, and she said, hey, we had Time magazine reach out to the women at the DC Project to see if we'd be interested in this project. They're getting people from everybody from the entire spectrum. They're picking people, anti-gun, pro-gun, indifferent, ER nurses and doctors, firearms instructors, and they're going to do a picture, a short little movie, a short little video of them, basically a picture, but it's an action. So my action was low ready, aim, low ready, and that will be played on a loop for the moving mural.
Okay, that's what Gabby was talking about, the moving mural. I think I heard on her channel.
Moving mural. That's a tongue twister.
That's a good one. Moving mural.
And so, but we weren't quite sure what it was going to be, because Time magazine is Time magazine.
It's Time magazine.
So I was like, I don't know what we're getting ourselves into, but hey, if they're going to be interviewing and taking pictures and learning something from gun people, it might as well be these gun people that might as well be me.
And I think looking from a Bushnell perspective, I mean, we obviously value your shooting skills, but the fact that you're active, the fact that you talked about being a little bit more vocal in the industry, but not only that, the teaching and the classes and going to teach. I mean, that to me embodies what we are trying to do here at Bushnell, is to be in all facets of the shooting sports and not just be a hunting company, not just be a PRS company. We are all in firearms together, regardless of what you want to do with them. We're all for that ride. So this is really cool. I commend you. This is awesome. Is this like the top that you can think about as far as like a editorial and a publication you've been on, or is this near the top? Or
let's just say when I told my mom I was going to be on the cover of Time magazine, she was pretty proud.
That's awesome.
Hey, Mom.
Rightfully so.
So I'm very happy, but it's not just that I'm on there. It's that what you just said. It's, we do hunting, we do this, we do that. That's what's so beautiful about this picture, this piece of artwork, is that if you look, you can see all different types of people in the use of firearms. You have the hunters, you have the hunters are somewhere else. The skeet shoot people. There we go. The hunters right there. You have, I think, police officers. You have the competitive shooters. You have the instructors. So you have the lawyers, all of that. So I'm just representing, you and
exactly.
the real face, the real voice of a Second Amendment supporter. So I think that now is so important, and that's why I was kind of backing up when I said I hate the A word being activism and stuff like that,
right?
Because I don't feel like I'm very political, but all you have to do is do good stuff, show good stuff, and bring more people into what you do, and that's what I'm trying to do. That's it. That's all that I'm trying to do.
One more.
Yeah. Hey.
Get some questions?
Speaking of, I'm kind of tracking the questions here.
Please do.
Speaking of bringing people into the sport, we have Skip Lalou here in South Louisiana. Where can I find information for what multi-gun ranges are available to shoot by state, preferably Louisiana? So I have an answer, but what do you think?
No, that's you.
So
what you say.
There's a couple groups on Facebook that aggregate matches, and they put them all on a list. So if you go on Facebook and you search, 3-gun matches, 3-gun match schedule, there's the 3-gun talk Facebook group. There's 3-gun matches gear and equipment. I mean, there's quite a few, and that's been one of the best places I've found to find matches all over the country. You can also look in your local, at your local clubs at their schedules.
NSSF, they've done a better job of the NSSF of broadening out their website to find a range or to find matches. They've been doing a lot better job, I think, of listing those on there as well. That's one of the sources that I've used.
Brian Enos Practice Score.
Yep, Brian Enos, the Brian Enos forums. There's a 3-gun events forum on the Brian Enos board, and then Practice Score. So actually practicescore.com, there's a mapping feature. You can put in your area, and it'll actually show you in your area matches, USPSA, 3-gun, IDPA. What else is on there? PRS is on Practice Score now. So Practice Score is really a great resource for shooters and ranges.
I have in the past been like, I want to shoot something this weekend. So I open up that interactive map, and I just kind of, I don't know if I drew a circle, I just scrolled, I zoomed into the area where I was willing to drive to, and then went search, and that's it, this is everything that, that's made it onto Practice Score, and I've chosen matches that way before.
Yep. So I'm easily distracted, and I can't help but be jealous of some of the guns and gear that are out here on the table. Can you walk everybody through a little bit of your 3-gun setup, what you're running, if you want to call out something? I mean, you can talk about this little guy.
That little guy right there.
That little guy.
Yeah, it's okay to be jealous because this is some of the best gear out there. I've been so fortunate from the very beginning when I started shooting in 2014 to be hooked up with some of the best, the best in the business. Best optics companies, best firearms companies. So what I have here is I've got my Terran Tactical Glock 17L right here. It's the Combat Master package. He's got the magwell on it. He's got the silicone epoxy sticky grip, which is like skateboard tape but on steroids. Super aggressive, which is really, really good for, mud and wet. We've got night vision night sights on there. Then I've got my my rifle right here, also from Terran Tactical, with the little P prism right here, which is just so small and cute.
That's what we were going for, was small and cute.
That's what you have to start with. I think we put that on the
packaging. If you've seen the new packaging, it says small and cute.
Small and cute. And then I have the Terran Tactical Benelli M2 right here. And that's my 3-gun gear. It gets a lot of use. It gets beaten up a lot. I've got Weber Tactical gear on my holster, which, your holders are just as important as the gun that it's holding. So this is my rig. I don't have my PCC here, but it's a SIG MPX, also by Terran. And what other? I don't shoot PRS yet, but I do have... Yet.
That's what everybody says until
they shoot it.
I feel like it's such an art form. I need to have time to devote to the craft, and I need to devote it to
just to go out there and shoot
and just have fun. Yeah. We did talk about that.
Shoot the KC match with George's place. It's just to go out there and have fun. So, I mean, talk to everybody about the little prism.
Okay.
You were, if you don't mind, because you were probably one of the first ambassador shooters to get it, to use it. So, I mean, like, numero uno. So, you've had this thing for a while now.
Well before they came out in production.
What are your initial thoughts on it?
I was pretty demanding about getting it because I shoot...
No comment, no.
I shoot limited division, which means no magnification on my rifle. Okay, so I have done red dots in the past. I started out 3-gun when it was just running what I had. I shot an EOTech. It was like one of my husband's off of a duty rifle. I just took it. And it's a holographic sight, and it worked-ish until I got to distance, and then I've tried another red dot, and then I tried a prism. Somebody else had a prism, and I tried that. I'm like, okay, I like a prism because it's always there, and because the reticle is crisp and smaller, and you just can't get that with a holographic sight. So I said... when Chad approached me in the beginning, he's like, Bushnell, this and that, and I'm like, wow, Bushnell, that's awesome, but do you have a prism? Because here are my needs. And he's like, you're not going to believe what we have. And then he showed me, so I love it. So what I have, little P on there, I've got the tiny little dot in the center, and it's illuminated. And I was able, in the base stages that we were shooting, we had some evening sun and we had morning sun. And I didn't have any problems with the brightness. I was able to, on the fast bay stages, you want to dial that illumination up, both eyes open and hose. But then again, you have to stand still for a second and get, what was that, 40 yards, 50 yards or so?
Right in there.
You do have to get the little steel plates at the back of the bay. So you need to have something that's bright but crisp and is always going to be there for you. So in that match alone, I shot it with all brightness all the way up, red illumination all the way up, and then also no illumination at all. So for the long range stuff or for that kind of stuff, no illumination, and I love it. It's obviously tiny, which means it reduces the weight, and eye relief is great. It's a perfect fit. So can I have another?
Sure. May I have another?
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
I love the field of view on it. The first time I got behind it and looked, it was like you're looking at an optic that's no bigger than 2 inches long, but in the tube itself. But when you get behind it, it feels like you're viewing through a regular high power, variable power rifle scope. It's just pretty amazing. So I can't commend the guys, Brian and the team, our engineers. I mean, again, what I think is cool, we mentioned on some of our shows, these are our own optical designs. So what you're seeing for Bushnell is coming from shooters, from hunters, and that's really where we're trying to take this, is bring out products that we enjoy, that we know consumers, shooters are going to benefit from. So it's very exciting when we can bring something out and give it to you and then watch you, as you say, hose down a stage.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awesome to see that progression along the way. But you're not just shooting this year. You're going to get in a little bit of hunting, right? You're talking to us a little bit about this. You're going to try that out. What do you got plans for this year?
So it's crazy. It's crazy that I haven't done more hunting. I've been a couple times, and unfortunately, I think I told you guys. Unfortunately, the first time I went hunting, deer hunting, very first time, I bought a rifle for it, which was my first rifle, DPMS 308. First time out, I shot a deer. And so I was like, success, this is...
You didn't shoot a deer, you shot a nice 7-point.
I shot a 7-point buck, first shot, all that. And I'm like, this is awesome. I want to go hunting all the time. And I have never seen anything since then. Not even seen anything.
Yeah,
but I've done some turkey hunting, done some bird hunting. But this fall, winter, I'm going to be doing, we have some friends that bought some property. They've got it backs up to core land. We have access to it, to just a ton of acreage. So I got together with, in this family, they live in the country, but they also grow their own meat, basically. They have pigs, they have chickens.
100% organic.
They're organic, and so the hunting will be to put food on the table,
As This is mine.
Venison, all of that. So that's what my plan is to go out hunting and help provide food for this family and have a lot of fun in the meantime. So I got a hold of you guys and I was like, I'm getting into this hunting stuff. This is what I'm used to. You tell me what I need.
What do you need?
What do I need?
Well, we love those calls. So we've got you set up with some Prime Nitro 4s. we want to go ahead and make sure you didn't leave empty-handed. So here's your new rifle scope that you'll be using. Why don't you look into that bad boy and take it out? So we've given Corinne one of the new forges, 4.5 by 27. I do not think you're going to have any problem finding the animal, seeing it in low light, whatever you're going to be doing. This thing's going to treat you well, I promise. So we couldn't be happier that have you out on the field rocking one of these things. And then we've also got a set of Chad's. These may be Chad's babies. I think there's maybe it came out of his personal collection here.
Did they?
We've got you a pair of the new Nitros. So, man, we're excited and can't wait to see some good content from you out there. I use that word content sometimes. It sounds very generic. Can I have some good content? We're excited to follow your stories, your Instagram posts, what you do when you're out there hunting. So this is going to be exciting because I know I'm going to have a lot of questions for you and bring you back on, hopefully when you shot a 14-point buck this time, or maybe just a couple of those or whatever it is to talk about it. So we've been touting these a lot. Obviously we can't give them out to everybody, but now and through the end of December 31st, Prime Nitro Forge running a promotion. It's on sale, $30 off on Prime, $50 off on Nitro, $70 off on Forge. So you got some really great deals out there. Go check out our website, lower right-hand corner, promotions. Sorry, I got a television operator, right? Right-hand corner, click on the dot, takes you to the page, find out all that good information.
Season of savings.
Seasons of savings. It's the Forge Nitro and Prime Seasons of Savings. So maybe you've already bought one and you're looking to get your family and friends one. Now it's time to get one. And then we also have Engage is on there as well. So all of our hunting lines going strong. So if you're just tuning in, we're here with Corinne Mosher. We've been talking UML Nationals. We've been talking the cover of Time Magazine, all things 3-gun, talking a little hunting. We have any questions that we missed? Has anybody fired off anything? Is it Wednesday, Thursday, something we need to address? Everybody sleeping? We're just up here talking?
No, we've got a couple stages.
We'll answer a couple because we're running out of time and we have to play our new lightning round with Corinne, and I'm looking forward to this. So let's see if we can't knock out a couple.
John Scouten, Shooting USA. John Scouten was on here a little earlier. I answered him in a couple comments, but he was curious about the UML. It's the Bushnell UML Traditional Nationals. He was curious about how many shooters were at the match. I said about 90. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, we were at about, maybe we broke 100 when they finally did the tally.
Pretty close. There were 50 in TAC Optics, which is the division I shot. I think there were 7 or 8 in limited, and the big ones were 2x4 open and 2x4 TAC were very heavy, which is not normal. So which is really, really cool to see people coming out and playing with their PCCs. Then he asked round count and stages. 10 stages, 5 natural terrain, which means not in a typical bay. You're out using the land. You're running through the woods and finding targets. You've got gullies and roots and rocks and other things to navigate, which can lead to its own fun. And then we had 5 bay stages, which are kind of typical what you'd see at a USPSA match. And I said round counts were 50 plus on every single stage.
They were high round counts.
They were probably like 75 or 80 because when you have to re-engage a lot of targets, I shot a few shotgun rounds this weekend. It was fun.
It was. I liked it because you feel like you. I didn't. Here's the thing. Like I've been to matches where they give you options, and then I go, well, heck, I'm really feeling the pistol this week, so I'm just going to shoot most of this on the pistol, or shotgun or rifle, and I end up walking away going, I touched my pistol one stage this whole match. Not on this match.
Not so.
We shot heavy on all of the guns.
The jungle run was probably one of my favorites, and not because I shot that well, because you guys have got to help me with the quad loads and the shotgun reloads. I'm just hitting the thing. I'm a dove hunter, so I'm just used to thumping one in and thumping 2 in and looking around. That's not the way you do it in 3-gun. But Chad gave me his shell carrier, and he strapped this bad boy on 32 rounds. I felt like I just came out of a movie, like I was in Predator. I just had all these mags and all these guns. I'm like, what do I do now? And he's like, you go shoot the targets. And I'm like, okay. So here I go off through the jungle run, shotgun in hand. Touched the rifle other than that, but that was just a lot of fun. That was one of my favorite stages.
Or the 2 on that match. On that stage, don't forget any targets. And if you're moving your feet, you're putting ammo in the gun.
Ammo in the gun.
If you move your feet, put ammo in the gun.
What else we got? We got any other questions we need to hit up? I think I saw one or notify one. Impulse. That's been a question we've been getting. It is in production. It will be out soon. We're waiting to get you guys some firm dates on when that. Sorry, we can't give you that right now, but it's getting soon. It's getting close. So as soon as we know that those are available and hitting the market, we will come back and update you on that. So what else we got?
Robert Rice. What would be a good scope for my new toy? He's got a 50 cal for Thanksgiving. What would be a good scope for his new toy?
Well, considering we're testing everything up to what we talked about over the G rating the last time, and that was basically my mind just went blank. Help me with my calibers. 375 H&H. I think you're pretty well secured through the line, but if I was going to put a 50 cal on it, I would probably go a lower power 1x4 or something in that range. I don't know, what are you doing with it? Are you going to shoot long range? Do you need a XRS or a DMR to really stretch it out? Or are you just rapid firing? What are you doing? I've seen a lot of crazy videos with Barrett's lately, so I don't know what he's doing with it. What are you doing with it? Tell us what you're doing with it, and we'll give you some ends. But I'd look in our Elite Tactical line. Maybe you've got a different answer. We got the new HDMR Pro, HDMR, XRS2. All three of those would be great options to throw on that thing. You're not going to be limited in magnification. You're not going to be limited as far as mils and revolutions per turret. Good eye relief, good glass. So I think we got you set up there. But also, we got a lot of options. So I know I get a little overwhelmed every time I'm on the website because there's just so much good stuff.
Talk about the website. It's beautiful now.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's beautiful now. Beautiful now.
I was trying to compliment. It
was very good. No, I appreciate you calling
beautiful.
it out.
No, it's interactive.
You can purchase
really
from our
easy.
website now. So e-commerce is live. If you're looking for some of these products, go there today. By the way, I think one of the coolest things on our site is the reticle simulator. So you can actually go first or second focal plane magnification. We get a lot of questions. What is second focal plane worship first? And then now we've got an answer for you. So if you haven't checked out the new Bushnell.com, please go on there and tell us what you think. What else we got before we jump into this lightning round of questions for Corinne, where we really dive deep inside the mind and find out what makes her tick?
Massage my brain first.
Yeah, the only other one, Scott McGregor. Geez, I need to get to that one next year. Talking about the Bushnell UML Traditional Nationals. UML is on fire. We agree. Yep. We are really excited to partner with Pete on this. I think I first heard about UML maybe 2 years ago when it was the first rumblings, and it's really exciting to see how quickly. I mean, it's grown faster than even the guys that are running UML have imagined. I mean, it's just exploded, and we're excited to be a part of it.
Big congratulations to Pete and all the volunteers and all the staff that were down there. They worked really hard. They gave us a very nice plaque for a presenting sponsor. I totally goofed and should have brought that in there today. But thanks to all the other sponsors, everybody that came out late. I know there's a lot of late involvement. There were Dissident Arms, Safari Land. A lot of great groups were out there providing products for the table, having staff out there. So a big hat off to Pete and all the volunteers and everybody that made that match possible, because we will be back, and we hope to increase it, at least 2 to 3 fold. So it'll be exciting next year. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Okay,
that's it for the questions.
Are we ready? Are we ready to dive into this? So we've got a new little I don't know what we call this little segment here. We haven't got a name for it, but basically what this is going to be 21 questions, and you need to answer as fast as you can. Chad and I are just going to fire them off, one him, one me.
Yeah, I feel like we should have a timer.
See if you can answer this quick. And the first ones are going to be an either or. So we're going to give you we're going to say, I don't know, a rainy day or a sunny day, and you pick which one you like better. Okay. The last segment is going to be fill in the blank. So you get to add in your own creativity. All right. Remember, we're on live, so keep this PC. You're on the cover of Time Magazine.
And my daughter is sitting there right there.
Your daughter is sitting there right now, so we want to make sure everything's good. So, Chad, you want to fire it off, and then I'll go with the opposite ones underneath.
Yeah, you need like an "Are you ready?"
Are you ready?
Stand by.
Shooter ready?
Stand by. All right. Mills or MOA?
MOA.
On your hot dog, mustard or ketchup?
Mustard.
Toilet paper roll, over or under?
Over.
For CCW, pistol or revolver?
Semi-auto. Pistol or revolver?
Yeah, semi-auto or revolver.
Okay, I mean,
pistol or revolver. I guess both are technically up there.
We're gun people.
The instructor's coming out.
Mental note here. Mental note here. They're all pistols.
Nomenclature. Okay, sorry.
For home defense and zombies, shotgun or rifle?
Rifle.
Dog or cat?
Cat.
I think I know the answer on this one. Red dot or rifle scope?
Red dot if you mean prism too.
Prism. All right.
Gotcha.
Spring or fall?
Fall. Yeah, fall.
9mm or 45 ACP?
9.
Movies, comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Cake or pie?
Pie.
Trucks, Ford or Chevy?
Chevy.
All right, we got through the first round. Very good, very good. You feeling relaxed?
I'm good.
I don't know what your score is.
I got my
We need
warm-up.
a little-
It's like the
little
first
sticker
stage.
here. If you're listening and want to play along in the comment sections, feel free. We'd love to get your opinions on there. All right, here we go, because this was one of the ones I came up with. I love this one. Fill in the blank. If you could go to the range with one person, living, dead, fictional, who would you take?
Wide Earp.
All right, that was
Awesome,
quick.
awesome
Wow,
answer.
all right, here we go.
If you had one superpower, it would be...
Actually, I've thought about this one. It's to be able to speak every language.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this in the first person, but my biggest fear is it your biggest fear is?
Yeah.
Time's up. What is
Yeah.
it?
She has no
I don't
fear.
You
have
had
a
no
big fear.
fears?
She's no
Fearless.
fears.
No.
Absolutely
We should
fearless.
ask her daughter.
Fear.
What's
What's
my
your
big
biggest
fear?
fear?
What's my biggest fear?
She can't think of one.
See?
Okay. Prove it.
Pretty-
Superstar. The best thing about shooting is...
Being outside.
Nice.
I hate when I go to the range and
I forget my ammo.
The one thing I always bring on a road trip is...
Gun.
my biggest pet peeve is
Being late.
I've always wanted to go to...
I don't know. I get to go everywhere I want to go.
well, come on, you gotta be more specific than that. If you go one place, back tomorrow, where are you going? All expenses paid?
Okay, I've always wanted to go to that castle in Austria that the Disney castle is modeled after. It's like Nuremberger.
You heard that right here, gentlemen and ladies. She wants to go to Nuremberg.
Yeah, there's this castle in
One-way
Austria.
ticket to Nuremberg with her cat is what she's
Oh
getting.
no,
at.
I hate.
And
a
finally, this one has a follow-up question, but favorite Bushnell optic
Little Prism,
and why?
because I'm so limited.
There you go. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Corinne. Before you go, you brought in something that we were going to start doing with everybody. If you haven't checked this out, Corinne Mosher has her own sticker. Can you tell us just a little bit about this?
Yeah.
The Shield Maiden? Is this what this is?
Yeah,
Is this a Vikings reference? Or?
Yeah, no, so Shield Maiden, my shooting coach that taught me everything I know, he used to call me the Shield Maiden because, they dug up the warriors and they found that some of them buried with full honors in uniform or in their, their gear, their armor, were actually women. So he called me the Shield Maiden. I kind of just took it over. It's a woman who just takes responsibility for defending herself, fights alongside the men. And this logo was drawn up by Jessica Hook, who is also a shooter for Terran Tactical. And this was the first concept that she sent back. I was like, this is kind of what I'm thinking. And she sent me this, and I'm like, whoa, that's what I'm thinking. So that's my logo. This is my sticker.
Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this sticker to our table. So before you leave here today, we got this nice table here. I want you to pick out a spot where you want it on. We're going to start having all of our shooters, all of our teams, and people that we sponsor with. So you're going to get your own dedicated spot on the Bushnell In Focus table. So if you wanted the front, the back, you are the first. Apologies to Robert Brantley and
Jeremy Gilliam.
Yeah, we messed on this one. I don't know what to tell you. So we appreciate it. And last but not least, don't forget about those promotions running till the end of the month. And we've got our new sweepstakes coming out. Send us those reviews. You guys have been great on that. We've got an email address coming. You can win an all-expense-paid hunt to come here in Kansas. Maybe we'll have Corinne on the hunt with us. So if you have any other questions, where can they follow you at, Corinne?
You can follow me at Corinne Mosher at Facebook or CorinneMosher.ShieldMaiden Instagram. I have a website I'm working on. And also check out my YouTube channel, Corinne Mosher.
So that's it from us. Thank you once again, Corinne. Appreciate it. Good luck on the hunt. Hope to see some good time out there. And thanks again for coming in. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me in. I'm 3 miles away anytime you want.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you next time on In Focus.